Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I am Venki and in this video I'll be reviewing the new OnePlus Monitor X27, which is a 27-inch gaming monitor with an IPS panel, 2560 by 1440 resolution, 165Hz refresh rate and 1 millisecond MPRT response time. More than 3 years back, OnePlus entered the TV market with the premium OnePlus TV Q1 Pro. And now expanding its reach in the display category, they have launched this premium monitor at a price of $28,000. There is also E24 model, which is a 24-inch monitor in the budget category, but its pricing is not yet revealed. Before I get into the details of X27, let me tell you that I was a beta tester of this product and I have been using this monitor for more than 3 months. So even though this device is provided by OnePlus for testing, my views in this video are totally based on my own experience. So without further ado, let's get started. So inside the box you get the monitor in 3 different parts. The monitor itself, the vertical stand and the horizontal base. The vertical stand looks a lot like the OnePlus Icon earphones. There is OnePlus logo and Never Settle mentioned on the back side of the stand. The stand itself is made of metal, whereas the mount is made of high quality plastic. There is also a slot for cable management. The curved edges and the metallic grey color give the stand a nice look. Overall, it's a pretty sturdy stand that can take the weight of the monitor. The base plate is also made of metal with a sturdy groove mechanism to hold the vertical stand on it. It has anti-slip pads at the bottom for grip. And this is the monitor itself from the back. Has a nice curvature with a matte finish. The vertical mount would go directly into this slot. But finding a wall mount would be surely difficult for this as the holes are inside the slot. So the regular VESA mounts won't fit here. The front is minimal with OnePlus metal embossed logo and markings for the menu keys. Sometimes these markings are very difficult to even see as they are so light. The menu buttons are placed at the bottom like this. They are plastic with decent feedback but give a lot of resistance to the push. Difficult to press the button without even shaking the TV sometimes. Wish they gave a joystick button instead. And this is the LED for power indication. Very weirdly placed facing the bottom. I have to keep reflecting surface below it to see the status. Also do note that it doesn't have any inbuilt speaker. Now coming to the ports, this one's for power. There is one HDMI port, one display port, one Type-C for display which also supports power delivery, 2 USB 3.0 ports that can be used for inputs while using the Type-C display. But if you want to use these USB ports with HDMI or DP inputs, then you need to connect a Type-C to Type-A cable with your desktop or laptop. So you lose one port on the desktop or laptop and get 2 ports on the monitor. And finally 3.5mm port for audio output. So it has all the I/O ports required. The installation requires no tools and is pretty easy to do. First, place the vertical mount on the base plate like this, and using the screw on the box, you can fix the stand. Now just place the top portion of the mount into the monitor slot and push a little. It automatically locks and the mounting is done. Simple as that. Holding the monitor, just lift it up. This is how it looks with the stand from the front and the back. The back looks more interesting to me honestly, something that would be attractive in an office kind of environment. The monitor itself can be moved in 3 different directions. We can swivel around 20 degrees on both sides. Also it can tilt 21 degrees towards the top and 5 degrees towards the bottom. The height is also adjustable with the movement of 130mm. And finally, if you want to use the monitor in portrait mode, you can even turn it 90 degrees on either side. The screen doesn't auto-rotate though, you need to enter the menu to change it. The overall mechanism is very smooth and sturdy. You move it and it will stay there without losing its position. You get the flexibility to move it as per your needs, which I like it very much. Now along with the monitor and the stand, you also get the power cable which has this huge and heavy adapter brick. The power cable comes with a 6A 3-pin plug. Organizing this power brick gonna be a tough task. Then there's DisplayPort cable, a HDMI cable, and also a Type-C to Type-C cable. The quality of Type-C cable is great, but the HDMI and DP are not the best. Still, it's good to have them in the box itself. Finally, a user guide. Once you connect all the cables, this is how you can manage them through the slot on the stand. It looks pretty neat. Now, here are the detailed specifications of the monitor. I have mostly used this with the desktop computer at 2K resolution and 165Hz using a DP cable. I have the RTX 3060 graphic card and I generally keep the color accuracy in reference mode as it gave me the best output. The bezels are pretty slim on three sides, giving a very good viewing experience. The IPS panel has very good color reproduction with the colors being natural without being too saturated. There is no information about the sRGB coverage, but it has 95% coverage of DCI-P3 color gamut, so you're gonna get white colors through the display. Let it be while watching some media content or playing games, the colors were really good. It has a typical brightness of 350 nits and also claims HDR 400. So basically it can reach 400 nits with HDR. But when I measured with a lux meter, I got almost 350 lux without HDR and around 330 lux with HDR on Windows 10 PC. So turning on HDR is not peaking any brightness or reaching that extra 50 nits as I could observe on the Windows 10. So don't keep high hopes on HDR if you're going to use with Windows. It's better used only for consoles in my opinion. There's no bleeding in the monitor as such, but you can observe some IPS glow if you turn off the light and watch dark scenes. But nothing that would affect you while watching something unless you shift your angle a bit. The viewing angles as expected from an IPS panel are great. I did not observe any large shift in colors till extreme angles. As it has a matte screen, the reflections in the daylight are also minimal, but it does seem to affect the overall contrast. Otherwise, the screen is pretty bright and I had to reduce the brightness many times. The 2K resolution and 165Hz give very crisp picture quality and smooth scrolling for web browsing or text usage. Now coming to gaming, I played a couple of first-person shooter games almost at 120 to 160 FPS and totally loved the experience. I did not experience any input lag or ghosting. The colors were great and the 5 millisecond GTG response time gave a stutter-free experience. I even played with HDR turn on in Windows and the game did punch some more details in the highlights. I played Fortnite for the first time and actually won, not that I would give the credit to the monitor though. Now, if you feel that there's ghosting and you want to improve, there's an override setting in the menu with 3 levels. The normal setting has a slight blur and ghosting when I did the UFO test. With fast, it can improve slightly. Whereas with super fast, it uses the backlight strobing to reach the mentioned 1 millisecond MPRT response time. So you get less blur but might give some inverse ghosting and also reduction in brightness. You can try and select the one that suits your gaming. You also get freezing premium option to reduce smearing. I honestly didn't observe any smearing, but you can use the G-Sync or freezing to have the dynamic refresh rate. You cannot use the super fast response time and freezing option together, so keep that in mind. I also played a couple of games on PS5. This monitor, even though says HDMI 2.1, it doesn't support VRR or ALLM, but does support 1440p HDR at 120Hz. It might not show 120Hz in video information initially, but while you play a game that supports 120Hz, you can check that info. I did feel that the brightness in HDR gaming could have been better, as I was struggling a bit in dark scenes. But playing the PS5 games at 120Hz was so enjoyable. I was waiting to have this experience from the time I bought the console and finally I could explore this. Thanks to the Type-C port, I could even use it with my S22 Ultra and take advantage of the Dex mode. It has power delivery of 65 watts. If you're someone who would want to do multitasking, you can also use the picture-in-picture or picture-by-picture mode to connect multiple inputs. Let me be honest in this, the process of setting up the split view modes is very tiring and I wish OnePlus implemented a more intuitive way to use that, but that's how it is. I personally like the PIP mode rather than the PBB. There's also no KVM, so you cannot use the input devices across the inputs. Now coming to the OSD menu, there's option to change brightness, contrast, sharpness, black level, and gamma for your fine control. The adaptive contrast here is very badly optimized as the screen almost goes black in dark scenes, so stay away from it. There's also different picture modes. The standard mode seems to be the best in my opinion, as you can adjust all the parameters. With picture, movie, web and game preset, you lose the control. The game preset again has 4 different modes, but I find almost all of them with weird color tones. Maybe they are only best suited for some games, but I couldn't shift to them. You also get the virtual aim point feature to use for FPS games. I wish there was an FPS counter too. There's also color temperature options, HDR toggle and color space selection. Again here weirdly, the normal color space seems to be the one with natural color settings and the others producing pinkish hues. There's sRGB color mode, but I didn't find it to be giving the natural colors as it's supposed to be. You can also assign 2 of the buttons to some shortcuts. The volume control is for the volume from the 3.5mm port, and honestly the output is lower even at 100. So it suits headphones but not great for speakers. The menu buttons and selection is not that intuitive, and as the power button is close to the menu, you might accidentally press it and have to wait for at least 5 to 10 seconds to get back the screen, as turning on and off is a slow process. This definitely annoys me a lot. So to conclude, the OnePlus Monitor X27 does come with most of the features expected from a gaming monitor: 2K resolution, 165Hz refresh rate, 1 millisecond response time, all input ports including Type-C, IPS display, bright panel, multi-adjustable stand and VIP modes. It does not try to be just a gaming monitor but also one for productivity, be it media editing or browsing. But at an asking price of 28K, it becomes a tough choice considering it's from OnePlus, which is not an established brand for monitors. There are monitors from Asus, Acer, BenQ, Lenovo that might omit a couple of features, but few are even cheaper and have better after sales. Even though there's 3 years warranty with the OnePlus monitor, knowing how the OnePlus TV after sales is, I wouldn't keep much hopes on that. Not that this is a bad monitor, this is a really nice monitor and I'm enjoying using it. But a price of 22 to 23 would have been attractive for this monitor considering the brand value. But if you're looking for an all-rounder monitor and you feel that the extra productivity features provided are useful for you in daily usage, then you can go for it. I would still suggest buying it once it starts being available on Amazon or Flipkart, as the return policy would be better and you might get some discounts. I hope the video was helpful and I could clear most of your doubts regarding the monitor. Let me know in the comments if you need any further info. Thanks for watching and share the video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care.